The fluorescent lights buzzed like angry hornets overhead, casting jagged shadows across the sweat-slicked tiles of the Elmwood High locker room. I slammed my locker shut, heart pounding from the final whistle of the championship game, when Caleb's hand gripped my shoulder, hard, unyielding, pinning me against the cold metal door. "Nathan, we need to talk," he growled, his voice cracking like thunder over the empty stadium outside, eyes wild with something I couldn't name, something that terrified me more than any loss we'd ever shared. His breath was hot against my face, smelling of Gatorade and desperation, and for a split second, I thought he knew about the nights I'd lain awake in our shared tent during summer camps, stealing glances at the rise and fall of his chest under the moonlight. "You think you can just hide forever?" he whispered, his free hand trembling as it hovered near my collar, not quite touching, but close enough to ignite the fire I'd buried for years. I froze, the world narrowing to the drip-drip of a distant shower and the roar of blood in my ears, because in that moment, with Caleb's straight-laced world crashing into mine, I realized the game we'd been playing wasn't football at all, it was survival, and the clock was finally running out. The air in rural Ohio hung heavy that September evening in 2018, thick with the scent of freshly cut grass from the football field and the faint, acrid tang of bonfire smoke drifting in from the edge of town. Elmwood was the kind of place where everyone knew your daddy's truck by its rust spots and your mama's pie recipe by heart, a speck on the map where cornfields stretched like golden oceans under endless blue skies, and dreams either took root or withered on the vine. I was Nathan Hayes, 17 and counting the days until graduation like a prisoner scratching tallies on a cell wall. Not because I hated Elmwood, hell, I loved it in that bone-deep way you love the scars from your first bike crash, but because loving it meant loving Caleb Whitaker, and that was a secret heavier than the championship trophy we'd hoist come fall. Caleb and I had been inseparable since kindergarten, when he'd shared his crayons during art class and I'd defended him from Tommy Riley's playground taunts with a wild haymaker that got us both detention. He was the golden boy, broad-shouldered, with sun-bleached blonde hair that fell in lazy waves over his forehead, and eyes like polished oak, warm and steady. Quarterback of the Elmwood Eagles, straight-A student, the kid who volunteered at the local shelter on weekends and still found time to fix Mrs. Hargrove's leaky roof without asking for a dime. Me, I was the shadow to his light, wiry build from endless sprints, dark hair that never quite tamed, and a quick wit that masked the questions churning inside me. We were yin and yang, peanut butter and jelly, the duo that made teachers sigh with envy and girls giggle in the hallways. But beneath it all, I carried a truth that could shatter us. I was gay, and Caleb was the reason I knew it. It started innocently enough, or so I told myself. Freshman year, during a sleepover at his family's sprawling farmhouse on the outskirts of town, we'd snuck out to the old oak tree in his backyard, the one with branches like gnarled fingers reaching for the stars. Armed with a six-pack of stolen Bud Light from his dad's garage, our first taste of rebellion, we'd sprawled on the grass, backs against the trunk, passing the cans back and forth as fireflies danced around us like living sparks. To conquering the world, Caleb toasted, clinking his against mine, his laugh booming like summer thunder. I echoed the words, but my gaze lingered on the way the moonlight carved shadows along his jaw, the easy flex of his arm as he took a swig. That night, as we stumbled back inside and crashed on his bedroom floor, I lay awake long after his snores filled the room, my heart a frantic drumbeat against the walls of my chest. By sophomore year, the feelings had roots, twisting deeper with every shared practice, Every late-night cram session in the library where his knee would brush mine under the table and send sparks up my spine. I catch myself staring during gym class, mesmerized by the grace in his throws, the power in his tackles, and I jerk away, cheeks burning, burying it under jokes about his girlfriend of the week. Caleb dated freely cheerleaders, the artsy girl from debate club, even that exchange student from California with the wild curls, but it was always light, fleeting, like fireflies winking out at dawn. "You're the only one who gets me, Nate," he'd say, slinging an arm around my shoulders after a win, oblivious to how his touch lingered like a brand on my skin. I tried to fight it. God, did I try? Sundays at First Baptist, I'd bow my head during Pastor Ellis's sermons on temptation and sin, whispering prayers for strength while the organ swelled like a Judgment Day dirge. My parents, good folks who ran the hardware store downtown, Dad with his calloused hands and Mom with her apron stained from canning peaches, never suspected. They saw a son who helped with inventory after school and mowed lawns for extra cash. A boy building a future in engineering at Ohio State. But late at night, in the dim glow of my laptop, I'd devour stories online, forums hidden in the shadows of Reddit, tales of boys like me finding love in big cities far from cornfields and church steeples. It was a lifeline, but also a noose, tightening with every scroll because Caleb was right there, woven into every fantasy I dared to dream. Junior year brought the first real crack in our armor. Homecoming week, the air electric with floats and face paint. Caleb asked me to double date with him and Sarah Jenkins, the head cheerleader with the laugh like wind chimes. "Come on, Nate, it'll be fun. You need to get out there," he teased, punching my arm in the hallway between bells. I forced a grin, paired off with her best friend, Lisa, a sweet girl with freckles and a kindness that made me feel like a fraud. The dance was a blur of crepe paper and bad pop music. Caleb spinning Sarah under the gym lights while I shuffled awkwardly with Lisa, my eyes betraying me every time they flicked to him. Later, in the parking lot under a harvest moon, he pulled me aside by the tailgate of his beat-up Ford F-150. "You okay, man? You seemed off tonight." His concern was genuine, those oak eyes searching mine, and I nearly broke, nearly spilled it all right there amid the crickets and cooling asphalt. Instead, I mumbled about a headache, blamed the punch, and we drove home in silence, the radio's country twang filling the void. That silence echoed louder after the winter formal, when rumors started swirling like snow in a blizzard. Tommy Riley, still a bully at heart, now bulked up on steroids and spite, had overheard a hushed conversation in the bathroom, something about me checking out the swim team. By Monday, whispers followed me like ghosts. "Fag," hissed under breaths in the cafeteria, notes shoved into my locker with slurs scrawled in Sharpie. Caleb shut it down fast, his fists speaking where words failed, leaving Tommy with a black eye and a suspension. "Nobody messes with my brother," he snarled to the principal's office, arm around me like a shield. But that night, as we nursed bruises with pizza on his couch, the weight of his protection crushed me. "Why do they say that shit about you?" he asked quietly, pizza slice forgotten in his hand. I shrugged, throat tight. "Jealous, I guess. Small town, big mouths." He nodded, but doubt flickered in his eyes, and I wondered if the shield was starting to crack. Spring brought baseball season, a brief reprieve where gloves and bases blurred the lines. Caleb pitched. I caught, our rhythm flawless, like we'd been born to it. One humid afternoon after practice, As the sun dipped low and painted the diamond in hues of orange and pink, we lingered on the bleachers, sharing a water bottle, legs dangling over the edge. "College is gonna change everything," he said, wiping sweat from his brow. "Parties, girls, freedom." "You excited?" I was. In theory, Ohio State's campus a beacon of anonymity where I could breathe without the town's gaze. But with him, the thought of separation was a knife twist. "Yeah," I lied, bumping his shoulder. "As long as you're not ditching me for some sorority queen." He laughed, that rich sound that always uncoiled something in my gut. "Never, Nate. Brothers forever." The words were a bomb and a curse, sealing our fates in the sticky twilight. As summer loomed, the senior year ahead like a storm cloud, I buried deeper. Work at the hardware store kept my hands busy, stocking nails, advising on paint colors, while Caleb mowed fields for his uncle's farm, his texts lighting up my phone with memes and inside jokes. We planned our escape. Road trip to Columbus for orientation, dreams of dorm life and Big Ten games. But in quiet moments, alone with the hum of the AC unit outside my window, I'd trace the lines of his face from memory, wondering if he'd ever see me as more than the sidekick. Little did I know, the universe had a playbook of its own, and the next snap was coming faster than I could brace for. August heat waves rippled over the blacktop as senior year kicked off, Elmwood High buzzing with the frenetic energy of last chances, last pep rallies, last crushes, last secrets before the world cracked open. Caleb and I fell back into our groove like pros, navigating hallways packed with lockers slamming and laughter echoing off cinderblock walls. He was dating Emily now, a transfer from Cleveland with sharp wit and sharper cheekbones, the kind of girl who quoted Vonnegut in casual conversation and made him light up in ways that twisted my insides. I'd grin through their PDA in the quad, cracking jokes about her, corrupting him, but each stolen kiss was a splinter under my skin. Classes blurred. AP Calc where I'd tutor him through derivatives, his grateful fist bumps sending unwelcome jolts. English Lit dissecting Gatsby's longing, the irony not lost on me as I scribbled notes on unattainable dreams. Homecoming loomed again, but this time, Caleb pulled me into planning the float committee, his enthusiasm infectious. "We gotta make it epic. Nate, lights, pyrotechnics, the works." We'd huddle in the art room after school, glue guns and poster board our weapons, Emily occasionally joining with sketches that elevated our chicken wire monstrosity to art. Jealousy gnawed at me, not of her exactly, but of the ease she had with him, the way she tucked his hair behind his ear without a second thought. One evening, as the sun slanted golden through the windows, she left early for cheer practice, leaving us alone amid the glitter fallout. "She's great." "Ha," Caleb said, affixing a foam eagle wing. I nodded, forcing levity. "Yeah, perfect match. Just don't forget us mere mortals." He paused, glue stick hovering. "You're not mere, Nate. You're you." The words hung, heavy with unspoken layers, and I busied myself with tape, pulse racing. The float debuted to cheers, our eagle soaring under stadium lights as the band blared Sweet Caroline. Caleb and Emily were crowned king and queen, confetti raining like blessings, but I stood on the sidelines with the team, clapping until my palms stung, a hollow ache blooming in my chest. Later, at the after-party in Tommy Riley's barn, hay bales and kegs, bass thumping from subwoofers, booze flowed freely. I nursed a solo cup of something fruity and foul, watching Caleb dance with Emily, his hips swaying in rhythm that made my throat dry. When he spotted me leaning against a post, he broke away, grabbing my arm. "Dance with me, loser," before I could protest. He was pulling me into the fray, our bodies moving awkwardly at first, then sinking like on the field, shoulder to shoulder, laughs bubbling up. Emily joined, a trio lost in the strobe lights, and for a stolen minute, felt like enough. But enough is a lie we tell ourselves. A week later, the first real fracture appeared. We'd skipped study hall to grab burgers at Dino's Diner. The vinyl booths cracked from decades of grease and gossip. As we demolished fries, Caleb's phone buzzed. Texts from his dad, the stern ex-Marine who ran the auto shop and expected perfection. "Coach says scouts are coming to the game Friday. Dad's writing me hard about grades." Stress etched lines around his eyes, and I reached across, squeezing his wrist. "You've got this. You're Caleb freaking Whitaker." He smiled faintly, but then his gaze sharpened. "What about you, Nate? You've been distant. Like you're carrying the world." My fork froze midair, heart stuttering. "Just senior stuff. Future crap." He leaned in, voice low. "Is it a girl? Someone messing with your head?" The assumption stung, but it was safer than truth. "Nah, just figuring shit out." He nodded, but the seed was planted, doubt in his eyes, mirroring my own. October brought playoffs, the air crisp with fallen leaves and anticipation. Practices intensified. Dawn runs through mist-shrouded fields where our breaths puffed like dragons. One morning, as we cooled down by the creek behind the school, skipping stones across the glassy surface, Caleb opened up about college fears. "What if I blow it? What if I'm not cut out for the big leagues?" Vulnerability cracked his facade, and I sat closer, our knees brushing. "You're more than football, Cal. You're the guy who shows up every time." He turned, eyes locking on mine, and the world hushed, the ripple of water, the rustle of oaks the only sounds. "Thanks, Nate. I don't know what I'd do without you." His hand found my shoulder, squeezing, and time stretched, electric. I pulled away first, mumbling about class, but the touch lingered like a ghost. Emily noticed the shift. At a bonfire party by the river, flames crackling, guitars strumming folk tunes, she cornered me while Caleb fetched drinks. "He's worried about you, you know. Says you're pulling away." Her words were kind, but laced with possession. "Tell him I'm fine. Just buried in apps." She searched my face, then softened. "Whatever it is, Nathan, you're family to him. Don't forget that. Family." The word was a cage, gilded but confining. Halloween fell on a Friday, the game a bloodbath win against rivals from Akron. Adrenaline high, we hit a haunted hayride organized by the youth group, hay bales bumping over rutted paths lined with carved pumpkins and fake cobwebs. Caleb, Emily, and I piled into a wagon, screams punctuating jump scares as actors in masks lunged from the dark. In the chaos, Caleb's arm draped over my shoulders for protection, his warmth seeping through my hoodie. When a ghoul popped out, we jolted together, laughter dissolving tension. Emily teased us, "You two are worse than brothers," but her eyes held a question. Post-ride, around a roaring fire pit, marshmallows toasting on sticks, the conversation turned deep. Emily shared dreams of journalism school in Chicago, her voice animated. Caleb confessed fears of following his dad into the shop if football fizzled. I stayed quiet until prodded. Ohio State. Engineering. Build bridges. Maybe. Something solid. Caleb nudged me. You'll design the next Golden Gate, Nate. I believe in you. The firelight danced on his face, and I swallowed hard, the sweetness of Esmores turning bitter. November's chill deepened. Thanksgiving a whirlwind of turkey and tension at my house. Mom's pies, Dad's stories of Nam, Caleb a fixture at our table like kin. But as we cleared plates, he pulled me onto the porch, breath fogging in the frosty air. Dad cornered me today. Says college is a distraction, that I should enlist. Panic flashed in his eyes. Cal, no. You're meant for more. He gripped the railing, knuckles white. What if he's right? What if I'm just chasing shadows? I stepped closer, our shoulders touching. You're not. And if you need to chase, I'll run with you. He turned, gratitude softening his features, and for a heartbeat, I thought he might lean in, might bridge the gap. But Emily's call from inside shattered it, and we retreated, the moment slipping away like smoke. The betrayal brewed subtly, like a pot left too long on simmer. December brought finals, snow dusting the fields like powdered sugar. Study sessions in the library stretched late, Emily often absent with her own cram. One night, as equations blurred on the page, Caleb sighed. Remember that rumor last year? Tommy's been at it again. Says you're. You know, my pen stilled, ice in my veins. Ignore it. He leaned back, studying me. Nate, if it's true, I'm here. No judgment. The offer was olive branch and landmine, and I deflected with a joke. But sleep evaded me that night, the floor between our sleeping bags a chasm. Christmas Eve. Carols on the radio as we drove to midnight mass. The Whitaker farm twinkling with lights. Inside, pine scent and eggnog, families mingling. Under the mistletoe, Caleb pecked Emily, then on a dare, grabbed me for a bro hug that spun into awkward laughter. But as we knelt in pews, candles flickering, his whisper cut through the hymns. Whatever you're hiding, it doesn't change us. Hope flickered, fragile as the flame in my hand. New Year's dawned with resolutions and resolve. Caleb swore off distractions for playoffs. I vowed silence. But January's thaw brought leaks. Tommy's crew cornering me in the parking lot, slurs flying like snowballs. I fought back, lips split, but Caleb arrived like a storm, scattering them. In the nurse's office, ice packed to my face, he paced. This ends now. Tell me the truth. Nate, the dam cracked. I'm gay, Cal. And it's you. It's always been you. Silence swallowed us, his face a mask of shock, then pain. I need time. He walked out, leaving me in the sterile light, the world tilting. The fallout hit like a linebacker blindside, January's gray skies mirroring the fog in my head. Caleb avoided me for days. Empty seat on the bus. Skipped practices where coach barked about team unity, while I caught passes from understudies, his absence a hole in the huddle. Texts went unanswered, my "we good?" echoing into void. Emily texted concern. He's processing, give him space. But her words were salt in wounds. Elmwood's rumor mill churned. Tommy crowing about outing the queer. Whispers in halls turning stairs to daggers. I armored up, head down. But inside, I unraveled, nights replaying that confession like a bad highlight reel, wondering if I'd torched our brotherhood on an altar of truth. First period English, MS. Harlan droned on Steinbeck's Migrants, but my notebook filled with doodles of fractured fields. A note landed on my desk, folded tight, meet after school. Field house. See heart slamming. I nodded to no one. The bell a mercy. The field house loomed at the school's edge, a squat brick bunker smelling of rubber mats and old sweat, ghosts of glories past. I arrived early, pacing the turf, breath shallow. When the door creaked, there he was, duffel slung over shoulder, face drawn like he'd aged a decade. Nate, one word, heavy as chain. We stood amid goalposts, wind whistling through cracks. I freaked, he started, rubbing his neck. Not 'cause of you being gay, that's you, man. But me, that's messed up. Guilt twisted his features, and I rushed in. It's unrequited. I get it. Just don't hate me. He shook his head fierce. Never hate. But Dad, the team, it's complicated. Complicated. The word lodged like shrapnel. We talked haltingly about crushes, confusion, the pressure of small-town spotlights. I've questioned stuff too, he admitted, voice barely above murmur. Not like you, but dreams. You know, vulnerability bridged us tentatively, and by dusk, we fist-bumped, fragile truce. Brothers, always. Rebuilding was tentative, like rehabbing a sprained ankle testing weight, flinching at twinges. Practices resumed, his passes crisp, my catches sure, but glances lingered, loaded. Emily sensed the thaw, inviting me to dinner at the Whitakers, her smile tight over pot roast. Mr. Whitaker grilled Caleb on scouts. Mrs. Whitaker fussing with seconds. But under the table, Caleb's foot nudged mine. Accidental? Intentional? Morse code of solidarity. After, in his room with posters peeling at edges, we played Xbox, trash-talking as controllers clicked. You're still a scrub, he teased. And normalcy bloomed, bittersweet. February's Valentine's dance cast long shadows. Emily wanted a group thing, but Caleb begged off, guys' night, and we hit the arcade in Mansfield, neon lights and whirring machines a bubble from reality. Pac-Man devoured ghosts as we demolished tokens, his shoulder bumping mine during skee-ball. Remember freshman year? We swore off girls for games. Laughter eased knots. But when a slow song filtered from the diner next door, he grew quiet. You ever think about it? Dating? I mean, my joystick slipped. Tried not to. Here, it's Russian roulette. He nodded, eyes on the screen. Sucks. You deserve everything. The words warmed, but warned friendship's edge, sharp as ever. Playoffs ramped up, March Madness in cleats. Regional semis against Toledo, the stadium packed, cheers a thunderous wave. Caleb's arm slung low for a screen pass, my dive snagging at inches from turf. Touchdown. Pandemonium. Postgame. Locker room steam thick. He bear-hugged me. Couldn't without you. Teammates hooped. Oblivious. But Tommy's glare burned. That night, bonfire at the quarry. Beers cracked under stars. Emily danced with friends, leaving us by the flames. Scouts loved it, Caleb said, firelight gilding his grin. Full ride possible. Pride swelled, mingled with ache. You earned it. He clinked bottles. We did, but betrayal simmers in cauldrons of fear. Mid-March, during a team meeting on strategy, Tommy cornered Caleb in the weight room, dumbbells clanging, mirrors fogged. I wasn't there, but whispers reached me. Your boy's a perv, Whitaker. You cool with that? Caleb's defense was fierce. Mind your business. But doubt seeded. Days later, at lunch, he pulled me aside by the vending machines. Tommy's pushing. Says if I don't distance, he'll tell coach you're a distraction. Rage flared. Let him. Caleb's jaw tightened. It's not just you. Dad's old school. Thinks it'll ruin me. The me stung my truth as liability. So what? Ditch me? He recoiled. No, just lay low till playoffs end. Lay low. Like a dirty secret. I stormed off, slamming my tray, appetite soured. The rift widened, practices terse, passes off, huddles silent. Emily mediated, coffees at Dino's turning interrogations. He's scared, Nathan. Of losing everything, scared. Of me. April showers matched my mood. Track meets a solo grind while Caleb focused on finals. One rainy afternoon, I found him at our oak tree, drenched, skipping stones with fury. This sucks, he said as I approached. Feels like I'm choosing. Between what? The town or your best friend? He flung a rock, splash echoing. Between safe and right, we sat in wet grass, shoulders touching, rain mingling with unshed tears. I choose you, he whispered finally. Always. The mend was mended, but scarred. Prom approached, a glittering guillotine. Caleb went stag with Emily, me with Lisa from homecoming, polite, platonic. The gym transformed, twinkling lights, balloon arches, uptown funk pulsing. We danced in clusters, Caleb's tie askew, Emily's gown swirling. Midway, he stole me for a spin, clumsy, laughing, our hands clasping longer than decorum. Looking sharp, haze, says the prom king. Flashbulbs popped, freezing the moment, two boys on the cusp, worlds colliding. May bloomed with state finals looming, the air electric with possibility. Last practice before the big game, coach pulled us aside. You two backbone of this team. Don't let off-field noise derail. Noise. Euphemism for truth. That evening, Caleb's, packing gear, he paused. After graduation, we start fresh. No more hiding, hope ignited. Promise, promise, but promises break on rocks of reality. The night before finals, Tommy struck, anonymous email to the team list, Whitaker's queer buddy, watch your backs, panic rippled, coach calling emergency huddle. Caleb stood, voice steel. Bullshit. Nathan's family. Anyone got a problem? Deal with me. Silence. Then nods. Gratitude choked me, but under locker room benches, I found the printed email, forwarded to Mr. Whitaker. Betrayal's fingerprint, Tommy's, but enabled by leaks. Who? Not Caleb, but the damage festered. Graduation dawned sunny, caps and gowns a sea of blue. Diplomas in hand, families cheering. Caleb and I crossed the stage side by side. Hugs fierce. Party at the river, fireworks bursting like stars. We toasted futures. To bridges, I said. To whatever, he replied, clinking. But as embers died, Emily pulled him aside, whispers, her face crumpling. Later, alone by the water, he confessed, she knows. About your feelings. Freaked her out. My stomach dropped. How? Guessed. From us. The us hung. Accusation and absolution. Summer scorched in. Jobs and lazy days. Caleb worked the farm. I the store. But meetups dwindled. Texts sparse. Excuses piling. One July evening. Bonfire at the quarry again. He arrived late. Eyes shadowed. Dad found the email. Went nuclear. Says you're a bad influence. That I need to cut ties or he'll pull scholarship strings. Horror dawned. And you? He looked away. Fire reflecting turmoil. I told him to fuck off. But it's tearing me up. Nate. The choice loomed. Invisible noose. August whispered college. Orientations beckoning. Our road trip to Columbus packed truck. Playlist blasting Springsteen. Crackled with unspoken. En route. Diner stop in Zanesville. Pancakes and coffee. He broached it. Dad's sending me to a camp. Character building. Bible stuff. Thinks it'll fix me. Fix. The word eviscerated. Because of me? Partly. Mostly him. Rage and sorrow ward. Don't go. He reached across. Hand on mine. First deliberate touch since confession. I have to. But it's not goodbye. Columbus dazzled. Buckeye banners. Dorms humming. We unpacked in silence. His room across hall from mine. That night, campus bar crawl. Shots blurring edges. Back in his space. Posters half hung. He collapsed on bed. This is it. Huh? Big leagues. I sat beside. Worlds apart yet inches. Yeah. His head on my shoulder. Heavy. I love you, Nate. Everything. The admission shattered. Tears hot. Me too. Sleep claimed us. Tangled in innocence. Morning brought clarity and cruelty. A call from home. Dad Whitaker. Raging about priorities. Caleb stiffened. Phone shaking. I'm going to the camp. 2 weeks. Clear my head. Devastation crashed. Don't. I need to. He left that afternoon. Truck fading down I-71. Me adrift in empty halls. The 2 weeks stretched like taffy pulled to breaking. Each day a monotonous grind of lectures and labs. The Buckeye campus a vibrant blur I navigated on autopilot. Frat parties thumped with bass and beer pong. Co-eds in crop tops laughing under string lights. But I ghosted through. Smiles plastered. Conversations clipped. Texts from Caleb were sporadic. Hiking today. Thinking of you. Emojis of mountains. But no depth. The camp's grip evident in scrubbed replies. Home called. Mom's worry laced with everything okay. Honey. But I deflected. Burying in textbooks. The hum of fluorescent study rooms my only companion. Nights. I'd wander Mirror Lake. Ducks quacking under willows. Replaying his shoulder against mine. The weight of everything a phantom ache. Midway. Emily called, voice tentative over crackly line. He's changing, Nate. Talking about faith, purity. Says the camp's eye-opening. Dread coiled. About me. Pause. About him. Doubts. You know? But he misses you. Misses. past tense lurking. I hung up, punching pillow in my single, the thin mattress no match for turmoil. Ohio State's energy mocked me. Tailgates roaring for scrimmages, alumni fountains bubbling promise, while my world contracted to what-ifs. Caleb returned end of August, truck rumbling into the dorm lot like a prodigal. He looked different, hair buzzed military short, tan deepened from hikes, eyes carrying a zealot's gleam. Hug at pickup, stiff, brotherly. Missed you, man. Over pizza at Tommy's. He dove in. Camp was intense. Sermons on temptation, brotherhood in Christ. Made me see. Priorities. Priorities. The word again, sharpened. Like football, Dad. He nodded, but added, like God. Sin's sneaky, Nate. But grace. Trail off. Fork spearing pepperoni. My appetite fled. And us. Gaze dropped. Us is solid. Just boundaries. Boundaries erected swift. Study groups separate. Meals with his hallmates. Jocks quoting psalms between crams. I'd spot him in the union, laughing with a cluster of recruits. Emily visiting weekends with care packages and kisses. Jealousy morphed to isolation. My circle shrinking to a quiet lit major named Alex, who shared my love for indie films and late-night diner runs. You seem haunted, he'd say over milkshakes, his easy smile a balm. I shrugged it off, but seeds planted, conversations flowing sans subtext, touches accidental and light. October's leaves turned fiery, football fever peaking. Caleb's games drew crowds, scarlet waves chanting his name as he scrambled for yards. Arma cannon. I'd attend, face paint smeared, cheering from bleachers, our eyes locking post-touchdown, pride mingled with distance. Halftime, he'd text, kill it out there, but post-game, he'd vanish into team huddles, sorority mixers, leaving me to bars with Alex, dissecting plots over IPAs. One night, after a win against Penn State, rain sheeting the stadium, I waited in the lot. He emerged, helmet hair damp, jersey mud-streaked. Epic, I yelled. He grinned, pulling me into a damp clap. Couldn't without fans like you. The hug lingered, his heart thumping against mine, then snapped short. Gotta debrief with coach. Gone. Tail lights fading, me soaked and seething. Thanksgiving break yanked us home. Elmwood a time capsule of comfort and conflict. Family dinners overlapped. My mom's spread, then Whitaker's with venison and stories. Mr. Whitaker's grip on Caleb's shoulder was vice-tight, sermons slipping in about staying true. Caleb nodded, but his foot found mine under table secret semaphore. Post-meal, we escaped to the oak, snow dusting branches. Campus good? He asked, breath clouds. Yeah. Met people. Jealousy flickered in his eyes. Cool. Just be careful, careful. Code for chaste. You too, saint. Laughter, but brittle. Christmas fractured further. Caleb's gift. A leather journal. For your bridges. Mine, mixtape of our youth, Springsteen. Outcast. Tracks of tangled roads. He hugged tight, whispering thanks in my ear. Scent of pine and cologne dizzying. But New Year's Eve party at the quarry, fireworks planned. Kegs tapped. He arrived with a new girl. Sophomore from his bio lab. Blonde and bubbly. This is Jess, he introduced. arm casual around her waist. Gut punch. I toasted, beer bitter, dancing with Lisa while watching them sway to slow songs, his hand on her hip where mine had ghosted. Midnight kiss under stars. There's fireworks blooming, mine solitary, champagne flat. Spring semester dawned with resolve. I dove into clubs, GLBTQ alliance meetings in the union basement, rainbow flags and shared stories a revelation. Coming out there felt safe. Hugs from upperclassmen like armor. Alex joined once, his presence steadying, our friendship deepening over coffee dates that blurred lines. Caleb noticed, cornering me in the laundry room, spinning dryers humming. Heard about the group. Proud of you, but tone wary. It's freeing. He nodded, folding teas. Just watch for vultures. Not everyone's solid. Projection or care. April showers brought final storm. All-nighters in the stacks. Caleb aced his. Scouts buzzing louder. One study break. He knocked on my door rare. Wanna grab food? We hit the wagon wheel. Campus dive with greasy burgers. Conversation flowed. Dreams deferred. His major switch to business, Dad's influence. My internship at an engineering firm. You're glowing, he said, ketchup on chin. Coming out does that. Pause. I get it now. The camp helped me see sins not you. It's choices, hope sparked. So we're good, better, but choices cascade. May's end, pre-summer, Jess became official Instagram posts of picnics, her in his jersey. I unfollowed, scrolling past with numb thumb. Alex asked me out, movie, no pressure, and I said yes. His hand warm in mine during credits. First real date sans pretense. Kiss in the parking lot. Tentative. Sweet. Fireworks of my own. Text to Caleb. Seeing someone. Alex. Cool guy. Reply. Happy for you, smiley face. Summer split us. Me interning in Columbus. Him home with Jess visits. Texts dwindled to memes. Calls to check-ins. August reunion. Dorms abuzz. Sophomore year looming. We met at the Oval. Grass lush under oaks. Hug. Warmer. But Jess waited in his truck. She's great, he said, deflecting. Alex too, nods. Life diverging. Parallel tracks. Fall's rhythm set. Classes heavier. Parties wilder. Caleb's games escalated. Big Ten spotlight. Interviews with dispatch. Cheer. But with Alex now. Hands linked in stands. Halftime. Caleb's wave from field. Genuine. But distant. Post-game bar. Team toast. He clinked my glass. To new chapters. Chapters. Ours overlapping less. October surprise. Jess dumped him. Too intense, she texted. Ghosting after. Caleb unraveled. Calls at 2 a.m. Feel like shit. Nate. I talk him down. Memories as anchors. One night. Drunk on vodka cranberries. He showed at my door. Eyes red. Breath boozy. Can I crash? Alex asleep elsewhere. I let him in. Couch our berth. Midnight confessions. Camp messed me up. Made me question. Feelings. Heart stuttered. For who? Everyone. You. The admission hung. Air thick. I reached. Fingers brushing. Cal. But he pulled back. Can't. Jess was safe. This? Dangerous. Rejection. Soft-edged. Carved deep. November's chill mirrored frost between us. He dated casually, brunette from poli-sci, while Alex and I deepened. Weekends hiking Hocking Hills. His laugh echoing canyons. Caleb's texts. You too solid? Yes. But hollow without him. Thanksgiving home. Awkward overlap. Mr. Whitaker's toasts to traditional values. Caleb silent. Porch escape. Dad's pushing marriage tracks. After graduation. Weight crushed. And you. Scared shitless. Hand on arm. Plea unspoken. Christmas. Gifts exchanged, his a Buckeye mug. Mine socks with mustaches. Laughter forced. New Year's. Separate parties. My kiss with Alex fireworks. His MIA. Spring break. Caleb's road trip with bros. Mine with Alex to Chicago Art Institute. Deep dish. Nights tangled in sheets. Text. Having blast. Miss our adventures. Reply. Me too. Finals crushed. May graduations loomed, no. Sophomore year end. But tension peaked at the spring formal. Caleb stag. Me with Alex. Dance floor. Eyes meet across crowd. Song Wonderwall crooning. He approaches. Dance. Alex nods gracious. Waltz awkward. His hand on waist. We need to talk. Heart races. When? The when came swifter than a blitz. The spring formal's afterglow fading into a humid May night where fireflies swarmed the campus like errant souls. Caleb texted at 1 a.m. Meet at the shoe. Now. The Horseshoe Stadium loomed dark and empty. Goalposts skeletal under sodium lamps. The turf a vast green sea whispering secrets to the wind. I slipped out. Alex's soft snores fading behind me. Heart a war drum as I jogged the paths lined with blooming dogwoods. The gate creaked under my push. Unlocked. As if fate conspired, and there he was. Midway line. Sitting on the 50-yard stripe. Knees drawn up. Silhouette etched against the goal light. Nate. His voice carried. Raw as scraped turf. I approached slow. Dropping beside him. The grass cool and dewy under jeans. Silence stretched. Broken only by distant traffic on High Street and the hum of crickets in the end zones. What's this about? Cal? He exhaled. Long and shaky. Running hands through his regrown waves. Everything. The camp. Dad. Jess. You and Alex. It's all crashing. Vulnerability peeled back layers. Revealing the boy I'd first defended. Not the quarterback icon. Crashing how? He turned. Eyes glistening in the low light. Fear. Confusion. Longing. I lied. About the camp fixing me. It buried stuff deeper. Feelings I can't name. But they're there. For you. The confession landed like a Hail Mary. Intercepted mid-air. Air whooshed from lungs. World tilting on the hash marks. Cal. Words failed. Hand reaching instinctive. Cupping his jaw, stubble rough. Skin fever warm. He leaned in. Breath mingling. Lips brushing tentative, soft. Exploratory. Tasting of regret and revelation. Fireworks silent but seismic. Years of ache igniting in that press. But he jerked back. Horror dawning. Shit. I can't. Stumbled rise. Fleeing toward the tunnel. Leaving me sprawled. Lips tingling. Heart in shards. Morning brought fallout. No texts. Classes dodged. Alex noticed. Concern furrowing his brow over breakfast bagels. Rough night. Yeah. Old ghosts. I confessed fragments. Not the kiss, but the turmoil, his hug steadying. Take time. But don't lose yourself. Advice gold. But gold doesn't mend fractures. Caleb surfaced days later. Note in my mailbox. Coffee? Union. Noon. The union buzzed, students shuffling trays. Baristas calling orders, but our corner table islanded us. He looked wrecked. Shadows under eyes. Hoodie swallowing frame. That was a mistake, he started, stirring sugar into black. Booze. Stress. Doesn't change facts. Facts. The word walled. Felt real to me. He winced. It was. But I'm not. I can't be what you need. Dad's booking me for counseling. Reparative shit. Thinks it's phase. Revulsion surged. And you believe that? No. But if I fight, he cuts funding. NFL dreams die. Sacrifices blade. His future for mine? So ghost me. Protect us both. Protect. Euphemism for prison. Summer loomed. Internships calling, mine in Cleveland at a firm designing sustainable bridges. His back home. Training camps with Dad's oversight. We parted stiff. Hug clipped. See you fall. But fall felt Everest. Cleveland hummed industrial steel girders. Lake winds whipping off Erie. My day's blueprints and site visits. Nights apartment scrolling X for Buckeye News. Caleb's highlights a masochistic ritual. July 4th. Solo fireworks over the lake. Loneliness crested. Texted Alex. Now in NYC for grad school preview. Miss you. Reply, hearts. Plans for August. Caleb's check-in. Training hard. Dad's intense. Subtext monitored. August bridged us, weekend visit to Columbus. Neutral ground. He picked me up. Truck cab tense. Drove to Hocking. Trails winding through old growth. Hiking stick in hand. We climbed. Sweat beading. Conversation circling weather. Teams. At Ash Cave overlook. Vista sprawling. He cracked. Counseling's bullshit. Electric shocks? No. Talk therapy gaslighting. Says my attachment to you is trauma. Rage boiled. Fuck that. It's love. He froze. View forgotten. Love. Yeah. Hand found mine. Squeezed desperate. But Dad found out about the kiss. Guessed from my face. Threatened disownment. Betrayal's architect. His own blood. We descended in silence. Picnic lunch uneaten. Truck ride back. I need space. To fight this my way. Space. Grand Canyon yawned. Back in Cleveland. I shattered, plates smashed. Sobs echoing off brick. Called Alex. Come. Please. He arrived on. Arms enveloping. Love a lifeline. You're enough, he whispered. And for nights. I believed. Fall semester, junior year. Caleb's senior sprint. Texts. Polite. Perfunctory. His games. I skipped. Alex's hand in mine at indie flicks instead. But October. Homecoming invite, family obligation. Stadium packed. Scarlet frenzy. Caleb's passes laser. But post-win. He sought me in crowd. Glad you came. Alex beside. Polite nod. Wouldn't miss. Awkward trio to diner. Small talk straining. Under table. His knee brushed mine electric. Withdrawn. November elections roiled nation. Mirrors to personal storms. Caleb's calls increased. Dad's ramping. Says transfer to a Christian college. Panic. Don't. Debating. But scouts love me here. Tug of war. Soul versus survival. Thanksgiving Elmwood obligatory. Whitaker's table Arctic, Mr. Whitaker's glares. Mrs. Silent suffering. Caleb's foot nudge. Solidarity. Porch post pie. I'm staying. For me. Relief flooded. Proud. Christmas. Neutral. Coffee in Columbus. Gifts his a model bridge kit. Build high. Mine book on Whitman. Songs of ourselves. Laughter genuine. But eyes held storms. New Year's. Separate. But text at midnight. To truths. Reply. To us. Whatever that is. Spring. Thaw tentative. Caleb dumped counseling. Dad's rage seismic scholarship yanked. Truck keys confiscated. I'm done hiding, he declared over phone. Voice steel. Out to team. Coach knows. Ally secured. But fallout quaked. Teammates divided. Tommy's faction venomous. April. Betrayal crested. Anonymous leak to dispatch. Buckeye QB in gay scandal? Photos grainy. Us at the shoe. Hug misinterpreted. Twitter erupted. Hashtags Caleb Truth trending. Dad's interview. My son's confused. Prayers needed. Public crucifixion. Caleb vanished. Radio silence. Dorm empty. Panic Claude. Called Emily. Now distant. He's home. Bad. Drove through night. Rain lashing. Arriving Whitaker farm dawn. Mrs. Answered. Haggard. Upstairs. Careful. His room. Posters torn. Bed unmade. Curled fetal. Eyes hollow. Ruined everything. I knelt. Hand on back. No. Exposed. He turned. Tears carving paths. Dad disowned. Teams fracturing. You. Here. Embrace broke dams. Sobs shared. Love you, he gasped. Always have. Reciprocated. Pure. Unburdened. Days blurred. Recovery in hiding. Alex understood. Space granted. Caleb's fight. Press conference. Voice steady. I'm bisexual. Proud. Support matters. Backlash roared. Protests at games. But allies surged. Rainbow scarves in stands. Coach's defense. May. Finals amid frenzy. We studied side by side. Hands brushing. Boundaries blurred. Prom redux. Formal with Alex's blessing. Caleb stag but eyes on me. Dance. Slow sway. Whispers of futures. Summer joint internship Cleveland. Shared apartment. Cautious. Chaste explorations. Hikes. Home-cooked fails. Nights talking till dawn. Dad's olive branch. Gruff call. Come home. We talk. Reconciliation tentative. But seed. Fall senior year. Spotlight shared. Caleb's games. Eye on sidelines. Official. Alex visits. Trio solid. Betrayal scar. Tommy expelled for leaks. Justice poetic. Climax brewed Thanksgiving Whitaker's dinner. Dad's terms. Accept or leave. Caleb stood. Accept me. Or lose. Door slammed. But misses. Stayed. Hug fierce. Motel night. Us. Unbreakable. Winter's grip tightened post-feast. Elmwood streets glazed in ice. Mirroring the chill in Whitaker veins. Caleb and I holed up in my childhood home. Mom's quilts. Dad's silent support. A bunker against the storm. Calls poured. Reporters sniffing scandal. Teammates texting loyalty. Jess's pity DMs deleted unread. Caleb paced carpet worn threadbare. Phone clutched like grenade. What now? Voice cracked. Quarterback confidence cracked. I pulled him to couch. Knees knocking. Now, we build. Your way. He leaned forehead to mine. Breath sinking. With you. Always. January thawed fractures. Caleb transferred credits. Stayed Buckeye. But lighter load. Business core. Volunteer coaching youth leagues. Dad's silence deafening. But a card arrived. Proud of your fight. Door open. Crack in armor. We drove home weekends. Dinners strained but progressing, Mr. Whitaker's questions probing. Not punishing. Love's love. He grunted once over pie. Eyes averted. Progress. Glacial. Campus spring renewal. Caleb's coming out rippled. GLBTQ ally. Panels sharing story. His vulnerability magnetizing support. I thrived. Engineering thesis on resilient structures. Metaphor not lost. Alex returned summer. Visit bridging dinner quartet. Laughs easing old jealousies. Your family, Caleb toasted, and meant it. But conflict crests unbidden. April. NFL Pro Day. Scout swarm. Caleb's throws poetry. Post-drill. Agent call. Interest from Browns. But image concerns. Scandal's shadow. He confided night. Lakeside bench. Eerie lapping. They want the straight hero. Not this. Ache resurfaced. Then fuck 'em. You're more. He kissed temple. Chased. Maybe coaching. Teach kids truth early. May commencement loomed his. Not mine. Rehearsal bleachers. Gowns crisp. He gripped my hand under seats. Scared. Of what? Caps. Laughter bubbled. Of losing this. Us. Assurance. Bridges weather storms. Graduation dawn. Sun gilding stadium. Families beaming. Caleb's walk. Roar deafening. Hug from me row 1. Post-ceremony. Whitaker's full dad's handshake firm. Son. Tears unshed. Summer crossroads. Caleb job hunt. Me senior push. Apartment hours. Routines intimate morning runs. Shared showers platonic but charged. Evenings scripting futures. July 4th. Lakeside fireworks. His head on shoulder. Marry me? Someday. Half joke. Half prayer. Someday. August. Offer landed. Assistant coach at a D2 school in Indiana. Fresh start. Close enough, he said. Packing boxes. Drop off. U-Haul loaded. Kiss lingering at dorms. Mine now solo. But heart full. Weekend warrior? Every. Fall distance tested. My games cheered from afar. His practices shared via FaceTime. Visits. Train rides. Stolen nights in his cramped apartment. Town small but welcoming, rainbow flags on Main. No stairs. Thanksgiving joint families. Tables merged. Toasts to resilience. December. Climax unravels soft. Caleb's call Christmas Eve. Dad's coming around. Invited us home. Together. Elmwood arrival. Tree twinkling. Mrs. Hugs enveloping. Dinner. Dad's speech halting. I was wrong. Fears the sin. You too. You're good. Acceptance. Hard one. New Year's. Our party. Friends old new. Alex DJing. Emily toasting peace. Midnight. Kiss under mistletoe. Cheers echoing. Maturity's gift. Not perfection, but presence. Spring, my graduation. Caleb in front row. Scarlet proud. Walk. Eyes lock. Whistle sharp. Post. Ring slipped finger. Simple band. Promise etched. Someday now. Years cascade. Caleb coaches. I engineer bridges literal. Metaphorical. Home bought in Columbus suburbs. Garden blooming. Weddings. Small. Lakeside. Vows whispered. Dad walks him. Tears real. Kids come, adopted twins. Boys with his eyes. My wit. Mornings chaotic. Pancakes burning. School runs. Evenings. Stories shared. Truths taught. Betrayal's echo fades. Replaced by depth. That locker room corner? Myth now. Retold as turning. Maturity. Not erasure, but embrace scars as maps to wisdom. In Elmwood's oak shade. Years on. We sit, wrinkles etching laughs. Hands laced. Worth it? He asks. Sun dipping. Every yard. Love. Humanistic him. Flawed. Fierce. Forever.